The center court at Sobeys Stadium was electric. 10,000 fans packed every seat, their voices rising in unison with every point Alex Eala won. But across the net stood Caty McNally, an American who had just done the unthinkable. She had stunned the reigning Wimbledon champion in straight sets. And then McNally spoke. She didn't complain about the hostile crowd. She didn't make excuses about facing a player with an entire nation behind her. Instead, she said something that left the tennis world speechless. What she's doing for tennis is unreal. She's selling out stadiums, McNally declared. For me, to have this experience, it's a win-win because I'm only going to learn from it. But the most shocking part? She didn't see herself as the villain. She saw this as an opportunity to embrace one of the most unique experiences in tennis. Toronto, Canada, August 2026. The script had been written. Alex Eala, the Filipina sensation riding a 6-match winning streak after her historic DC Open triumph, was supposed to face Linda Noskova, the reigning Wimbledon champion, in a blockbuster third-round rematch. The tennis world had circled this match as the tournament's defining moment. A chance for Eala to avenge her 2 losses to the Czech star earlier in the season. A battle between 2 of the sport's rising talents. But Caty McNally had other plans. The unseeded American, ranked number 70 in the world, walked on a court 7 with nothing to lose and everything to prove. What she did next sent shockwaves through the tournament. She stunned Noskova 7-65, 6-1, dismantling one of the hottest players on the WTA Tour. The victory was McNally's biggest win of the season, a statement that she belonged on the big stage. She had been down 5-1 in the first set, but she fought back, embracing the discomfort and turning the match around. It's never easy, McNally said after the match. I think it can happen to anyone out there. Anyone can be up 4-0, 5-0, and things can change. So I think it's really about just sticking in there and trying to find your game. The upset dramatically reshaped Eala's path in the WTA 1000 event. Instead of a revenge match against Noskova, Eala would now face McNally in a first-ever meeting between 2 players on vastly different trajectories. Come watch us. I'm so excited to play with her. It's going to be a great time, McNally said after pulling off the shock victory. McNally knew exactly what awaited her. The Eala effect had become a global phenomenon. Filipino fans had packed stadiums across continents, waving flags, chanting Eala's name, and transforming neutral venues into something resembling home courts. In Toronto, the demand for tickets was so overwhelming that organizers had to move Eala's matches to center court. Tournament director Carl Hale admitted that the response was unprecedented for a player ranked outside the top 5. The Filipino diaspora in Toronto had mobilized in extraordinary numbers. Organizers projected that 8 out of 10 fans in the stands would be of Filipino heritage. The tournament had even added chicken adobo to its food offerings to celebrate the community's presence. The atmosphere was electric. The evening session was a double-header that had the Filipino community buzzing. First, Leila Fernandez, a Canadian of Filipino descent, would play, followed by Eala's match. To have both of them play on the same night is incredible for the community, tournament officials noted. Eala, for her part, was overwhelmed by the support. Lingo kiyo kang nakikita, sinusuporta ako. Lingo kang nakikita, kung gaano nyo kamahal, ang kapwa nyo Pinoy kaya proud, na proud akong, maging Pinoy, she said after her victory over Parks, addressing the Filipino crowd in Tagalog. The moment moved millions. McNally understood that she would be playing against not just Eala, but also a stadium full of passionate fans. But rather than fearing it, she embraced the challenge. I'm expecting a full crowd and every single person cheering for her and my little team cheering for me. But it's going to be a great experience no matter what, she said. When McNally spoke before the match, her words left the tennis world stunned. She didn't see herself as the villain. She saw this as a privilege. It's incredible. I mean, what she's doing for tennis is unreal and selling out stadiums, McNally said in an interview. So for me, to have this experience, it's a win-win, I think, because I'm only going to learn from it. And obviously, she's been playing some really good tennis. So I'm just excited. It was a moment of grace that defied expectations. Here was a player who had just achieved the biggest win of her career, who was about to walk into the most hostile environment she had ever faced, and she was praising her opponent. She acknowledged that the Eala phenomenon was bigger than tennis. What she's doing for tennis is unreal. She's selling out stadiums, McNally repeated, her voice filled with genuine admiration. When asked about her game plan, McNally remained mysterious but confident. I don't know if I want to give those away. I think my game brings a lot of variety, and I think if I could do that tomorrow, that's what I want to do. I want to play my game. I want to be the one playing on my terms. But then came the most shocking revelation. Asked how she would block out the noise, McNally refused to take the easy way out. She didn't complain about the crowd. She didn't make excuses. Instead, she saw it as a learning opportunity. Hopefully, I could just bank on my experience of those matches. And really, this is going to be a good test of my routines and the work I've been doing mentally and trying to really hone in on that and block everything else out, she said. Then came a moment that truly left fans speechless. But also, part of me wants to accept what's going on around and enjoy it and take it in. You know, it's a great experience. McNally's reaction to the Eala phenomenon revealed the mindset of a true competitor. She had every reason to be bitter. She was the underdog. She was facing a player who had a nation behind her. She was about to walk into a stadium where 10,000 fans would be cheering against her. But instead of complaining, she chose to embrace the moment. Part of me wants to accept what's going on around and enjoy it and take it in, she said. It was a sign of a player who understood that growth comes from discomfort, that the biggest challenges often lead to the greatest learning experiences. It's a great experience, she repeated. McNally also shared her thoughts on what made Eala so special. It's incredible. I mean, what she's doing for tennis is unreal, she said. She acknowledged that Eala had achieved something rare in the sport. She had made tennis relevant in a country that had never produced a star. She's selling out stadiums, McNally said, shaking her head in admiration. She called the experience a win-win because she knew she would learn from it. It was a moment of genuine sportsmanship that resonated with fans around the world. In an era where athletes often complain about hostile crowds, McNally chose a different path. She chose gratitude. She chose perspective. And in doing so, she won the respect of millions. McNally's post-match reaction was more than just a moment of grace. It was a sign of the changing landscape of tennis. The Eala effect had become so powerful that even opponents were forced to acknowledge its significance. McNally recognized that she was part of something bigger than a tennis match. She was part of a movement. The victory over Noskova had set up a first-time meeting between two players eager to keep their impressive runs alive. McNally had demonstrated that she could handle the pressure of facing one of the hottest players on tour. Eala had demonstrated that she could handle the pressure of being the hottest player on tour. In the end, the tennis world had witnessed something special. A competitor who refused to be intimidated, a player who saw the Eala phenomenon as an opportunity rather than a threat. McNally's words would echo long after the match was over. For me, to have this experience, it's a win-win because I'm only going to learn from it. It was a lesson in perspective, a reminder that the greatest athletes are not just defined by their wins. They're defined by how they handle defeat, how they embrace challenges, and how they respect their opponents. McNally had won the respect of the tennis world, and Eala had won the hearts of millions. In the end, tennis was the real winner. From the hostile crowd to the sold-out stadium, Caty McNally proved that true champions aren't just defined by their wins. They're defined by their grace under pressure. She walked into the lion's den and emerged with respect. She faced the Eala phenomenon and chose to embrace it. And in doing so, she reminded the tennis world that in sport, as in life, the greatest victories are often won off the court.